Yes, sir. My tricker. Back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be taking a look at some creepy videos that might just leave you in shambles. Let's get it.
The inevitability of smart dust. So what is smart dust? Well, smart dust, of course, isn't a new concept. It originated with DARPA back in the 90s. And it's general purpose computing, sensors, wireless networking, all bundled up into millimeter scale sensor modes, drifting in the air currents, flecks of computing power settling on your skin, ingested, monitoring you inside and out. And you haven't really seen anything yet. So this is closer to the end of the vision. This is this powder-sized chip, and that's a salt crystal. So this is a small thing. It's something called the Mu chip from Hitachi. It's the smallest commercially available RFID system in the world. And can be pulse-powered by radio waves. It doesn't require a battery. You can literally scatter this stuff like dust or embed it into a sheet of paper. And you know what the really interesting thing about this technology is? This was commercially released 10 years ago. We're still essentially at the banging the rocks together stage for this sort of stuff. And you haven't really seen anything yet.
We saw in the last video that they found fluorescent nanoparticles in cola, so maybe this is what they were referring to. I might have to invest in a dustbuster just to make sure there's none laying around my house.
A mysterious monolith has popped up in the Nevada desert. Look at this. Las Vegas police say this monolith is on a trail north of the city, but nobody knows how it appeared, how long it's been there, really. This comes just 2 months after a man in Wales discovered a mysterious monument-like structure with no footsteps around it to give a clue as to how it got there. Now in 2020, several similar-looking structures were found around the world with no explanation.
It could just be an art installation of some sort, but this is like the 10th monolith they found with no clue of where it came from. This is becoming one of the biggest mysteries of the decade.
What is it that you get paid currently?
Senator, that's well disclosed in our proxy documents in each of the years that I've been employed.
Yeah, but what is it?
It's a big number, sir.
Well, let me help you out. It's $32.8 million this year. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
That's a 45% increase over last year. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
What is it you get paid to do exactly?
I get paid to run the Boeing company.
Yeah. So just help me understand that. I mean, do you get paid for transparency? Is that one of the metrics for your income?
I think the board counts on me for transparency.
Really? Because you're under investigation for falsifying 787 inspection records. The Boeing's under criminal investigation for the Alaska Airlines flight. You were investigated by DOJ for criminal conspiracy to defraud the FAA. This is all in your tenure. This doesn't sound like a lot of transparency to me. You know, I think the truth is, Mr. Calhoun, you're not focused on safety. You're not focused on quality. You're not focused on transparency. All of this is in the record, but I think actually you're focused on exactly what you were hired to do, which is that you're cutting corners. You are eliminating safety procedures. You are sticking it to your employees. You are cutting back jobs because you're trying to squeeze every piece of profit you can out of this country. This company. You're strip mining it. You're strip mining Boeing. It was one of the greatest American companies ever. It has employed thousands of people in my state. And you are strip mining it for profit, shareholder value, and you're being rewarded for it. You got a huge raise, a huge increase. So it's working out great for you. For the American people, they're in danger. For your workers, they're in peril. For your whistleblowers, they literally fear for their lives, but you're getting compensated like never before. If anybody's coming out of this deal good, it's you. Why haven't you resigned?
Senator, I'm sticking this through. I'm proud of having taken the job. I'm proud of our
this
safety record, and I am
You're proud
very
of this safety
proud
record.
of our Boeing people.
You're proud of this safety record.
I am proud of every action we have taken.
Let's be real. The only reason why he's sticking it out and he hasn't resigned is so he can make another $32 million next year. Not because he's proud of that safety record. Nobody would be proud of that.
Is Marge Simpson an Egyptian mummy? Archaeologists discovered a 3,400-year-old Egyptian mummy's sarcophagus. Inside, they found a drawing of a woman who shares a likening to Marge Simpson. The Simpsons are renowned for predicting the future, but is this where it all started?
It looks exactly like Marge Simpson, even down to the color of the dress, but if we find another sarcophagus with Homer in it holding a Duff beard, then we know where they got the inspiration from.
Next up today, California lawmakers are considering making mandatory internet ID checks the standard for the entire state, such that you might have to enter your state ID before you even log on to the internet, depending on how this bill shakes out. I think that's very extreme. Today's article is coming from the Electronic Freedom Front, which is a very, very progressive and also First Amendment type progressive for internet rights, and they're very against this. So Californian lawmakers are debating a bill that would require internet users to show their ID before looking at any explicit content. This is very similar to the laws that have rolled out in Nevada, in Arkansas, in Texas, in Florida, in Kentucky. You're starting to see a trend with this kind of situation here. But if the law passes, it would make it illegal to show websites with 1/3 or more adult content to minors. And the explicit websites would join a list of products or services that can't be sold to minors in California, which is pretty nominal. But it's not just going to be adult content. Rather, anything that is considered mature, R-rated, obscene, objectionable. It's going to join a very wide range of content that will be restricted if you're a minor or if you just don't have ID. And on top of that, being forced to give up your ID to even look at the internet just blows away the free and anonymous internet that we're currently enjoying. People, adults specifically, should have the right to get online and look up whatever they want, to learn about things, to not be forced to reveal themselves by the state. And it's not even a matter of California getting your ID, but every time they do this, it's always a third-party company that's subject to leaks, to hacks. They retain a record of what you look at. It's an absolute total mess, in my opinion.
I would not want to be in California right now, because on top of having pretty much the highest state income taxes in the country, now they don't even want you to surf the internet without entering your ID first. You would think Xi Jinping was the governor.
The astronaut stuck in space will be there indefinitely, according to NASA sources. So for those who don't know, the Boeing Starliner, which was delayed numerous times, took flight and docked at the International Space Station. They were only supposed to spend a little bit of time there, and then the two astronauts, a male and a female, were supposed to come home. This indefinite delay is due to the constant helium leaks and also the issue with the thrusters, meaning that if they were to undock from the ISS with those two astronauts on board and they had a complete helium leak and a failure of the thrusters, they would be lost in space, and we don't have the space shuttle to go rescue them anymore. So it will remain docked there. They are studying the helium leaks. They're trying to figure out what they need to do to patch those leaks, try to regenerate what they can, and pull an Apollo 13 off if they have enough to get them back to Earth. This just comes, though, as Boeing has consistently had issues with aircraft, and for those who don't know, Boeing and Lockheed Martin also are in a joint ventureship with the United Launch Alliance, the UOA, which is why they were able to send this piece of crap up to begin with.
Add this to the list of reasons why the Boeing CEO shouldn't be making anywhere near $32 million a year. And if I'm one of these astronauts, I'm waiting to hitch a ride back with one of the other countries.
Many people have spent decades analyzing his films, claiming that he leaves Easter eggs and thinly veiled secrets and occult references in his films for those with eyes to see. Some theorists claim that these aren't just references, but Kubrick sought disclosures of what he knew lay just beyond the curtain of surface reality. See, Kubrick made his movies on both the subconscious and conscious levels. In Full Metal Jacket, as the Marines walk past a gas station, the Vietnamese writing on top of the building reads, "To continuously serve Satan, Your Excellency." In A Clockwork Orange, among other more obvious references to brainwashing and trauma-based mind control a la Project MK Ultra, characters drink a substance called Drenchrome before going on a vicious crime spree. Theorists claim this is a reference to an illicit substance available only to the wealthiest, most powerful elites. This substance, apparently extracted from the human pineal gland. The name of this substance I can't utter on YouTube, whether it's fictional or not. The Shining, of course, was written originally by Stephen King, but the Stanley Kubrick adaptation starring Jack Nicholson is bursting with subtle, disturbing details and esoteric occult references. Some of the film's most dedicated analysts think Kubrick is insinuating that the elites of the world, the most wealthy, famous, and powerful, are involved in a dark, ritualistic cult. While touring the hotel in the beginning of the film, Wendy asks if the hotel has ever served royalty. Mr. Ullman replies with presidents, movie stars, and all the best people. In the film's final scene, Jack can be seen making a very distinct gesture in front of all the other trapped souls, which many believe this gesture symbolizes Baal or Baphomet. The theory being that this is the true religion of the elites. One of the scariest aspects of the movie is the twins. When the twins are first shown, it's in front of a poster that reads Monarch, which is another term heavily associated with Project MK Ultra. Is it possible Kubrick was again hiding messages referring to the trauma-based mind control system that theorists claim has been used on many people? Danny Torrance, the little boy in the film, disassociates and has a powerful psychic ability, kind of like in Stranger Things, another show using many ideas originally explored explored in Project MKUltra, where we see 11 is isolated, then shown affection, then abused in order to unlock her innate psychic ability.
I don't know if Stanley Kubrick put so many hidden messages in his movies based on first-hand experience, or if he was instructed to do so by the elite for karmic retribution, but now I'm even more curious about the 10 minutes of deleted scenes from Eyes Wide Shut. He probably gave away way too many secrets.
Get ready, because scientists have announced they're going to start making people.
British and American researchers, they've created the first synthetic human embryos.
Yeah, it's a terrifying prospect, and when you read about it, it feels a little bit Black Mirror-ish in a way. These synthetic human embryos were created from stem cells. They're groundbreaking for the Guardian, at least, because they required no eggs or the embryos could be crucial in determining things like genetic disorders or even perhaps treating repeated miscarriages. But as The Guardian notes, this discovery also falls beyond the realm of regulation in the UK and in most countries, so it does raise a lot of ethical issues.
Regardless of any potential medical breakthrough, with synthetic embryos sounds like they're trying to breed actual NPCs, and we've been worried about cloning this whole time.
Monster Energy has taken it way too far this time, and for all of you who call us conspiracy theorists calling this company demonic, well, this just proves we were right, because their new flavor, Bad Apple, is literally mocking the Bible. So this is supposed to be Eve, and she's biting the fruit, and on the fruit is the monster sign, which actually means 666 in Hebrew. You can look it up, and then just read the back of it. Tempted to try? We hope so. Juiced Monster Bad Apple isn't like anything you've ever had before. Forget your regular apple juice. Bad Apple is so good, it's almost worth getting kicked out of the Garden of Eden over. Mocking the Bible as a marketing strategy is absolutely wild. Now you know why Israel Adesanya, one of the most popular UFC fighters, whenever he takes the ring before a fight, he marks the monster sign with a cross, and he always calls out fighters for signing contracts to monsters, saying that they sold their soul. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's an agenda behind everything in this life, and 2024 is the year that a lot of people wake up because it's all in your face now.
I know they're just trying to market an energy drink at the end of the day, but just in case, I'll be sticking to the regular trusty dusty apple juice.
It's that commercial from Amazon. Basically, Amazon will have control over your garage door, where they can put your packages in your garage. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, we're giving company access to the inside of our home.
Security codes, yeah.
It's just getting out of hand a little bit.
How about you just send everyone who wants a box, like a secure box, right outside their house?
Yeah, and that's their solution for theft or whatever, you know, like, well, let us have access to the inside of your home. There's going to be a lot of people that do that, like, oh my gosh, that's such a good idea.
Porch pirates are a nuisance and everything, but not enough to give Amazon my garage code. Next, they'll be asking for a key to the front door.
Did you ever think it was weird if you grew up like I did and saw posters of Taylor Swift with a milk mustache? Did you ever think it was strange that it wasn't telling you to buy any specific brand of milk? Like, it wasn't a company's milk that you were supposed to buy. It was just selling you on the idea of milk as a concept. What about all of the education and school health class stuff that got injected about how milk strengthens your bones, or it made its way into all of our commercials and kid shows about how milk makes you big and strong? Isn't it convenient that at the exact moment the government decides they want to stop buying milk, we're all of a sudden told that we need to start buying milk? Now, I want to make it very clear. I am not saying any of this to imply or suggest that milk is bad for you or you shouldn't drink it. It is infinitely healthier for a child to be drinking a carton of milk at school than for them to drink a soft drink. It is good for you. It does help with your body's development, but those are all coincidental to the government's actual goal. Milk was touted as a superfood because the feds needed someone to foot the bill. The fact that it was healthy is just a cool coincidence.
It's funny that the goal was for the government to save money, but they probably ended up spending even more paying these celebrities to appear in these commercials, because I know Taylor wasn't cheap.
A terrifying find hidden in these bushes, one that has everyone in this Temecula community on edge.
And it was underneath these branches in a fake bush.
A hidden camera disguised as a plant with a wireless transmitter nearby feeding back images to who knows where.
They have a target. I'm afraid it's children. Why would this device be here?
Nearby security cameras caught the moment this black Toyota Sienna minivan dropped off two men Thursday evening.
COVID masks on, black COVID masks, and white grocery bags in their hands because they're carrying something.
After they saw another neighbor outside, they left and came back 10 minutes later.
They park at the end of the street and walk down the sidewalk to the front of my yard to place a hidden camera.
With neighbors alerting each other, they found the device very quickly, a seemingly elaborate operation. Last week, we told you about a similar situation in Chino Hills, a camera disguised as a rock. But legally, experts say there isn't much that can be done. But this isn't the first hidden camera story that we've done this month out here in the Inland Empire. So those who are victimized are asking you to do your part. Search around in your bushes, your sidewalk, anywhere among your property, as the fear is this is part of a bigger scheme.
I know they say these cameras were placed here to scout potential crime opportunities, but in today's times, I would not be surprised if these were actually planted by some undercover agency trying to get intel. I'm checking my lawn tomorrow.
Have y'all seen those videos going around about the rubber bananas and avocados? Well, I think I may have got one. I'm in Texas, by the way. I did an HEB curbside order 2 weeks ago, and I asked for 2 ripe avocados that were ready to eat. I got home and unpacked my groceries, and they were rock hard. I figured, okay, these people just can't read, right? They're just not ripe. So I put them on my counter 2 weeks ago. This avocado should be moldy by now. What the F, HEB? It just took me literally 30 seconds to cut it apart. It is so hard. The other side of the shell came off. Have you ever seen that happen? Let me show you what it feels like. Well, not that you can feel it, but look at this. I'm pushing so hard. Like so hard that it's turning my finger white. And it's not even denting. Like, let me try to cut it with my fingernail. Look at that. What in the actual... What is going on here? This is a tag on it, avocado from Mexico. Do these numbers mean something? Like, I just don't understand. There's a close-up of it. What is happening here? Look at this. I can't break it apart. Like, it doesn't move. Guys, what the hell is this? This is not food. This is 100% not food.
This is like a Fisher-Price avocado. That's going to be the toughest guacamole she ever had.
As you can see from these series of pictures, several celebrities are frequently seen with the Monarch Butterfly. It is especially occult when you see them place the butterfly over one eye or over the mouth. There are so many instances of this very odd placement of a butterfly that one has to question exactly what meaning they are trying to convey. If you do some searching around the internet, you'll find a very common explanation. Just as the monarch butterfly goes through metamorphosis, these controllers or handlers of these celebrities are using mind control techniques to morph the minds of their subjects. Probably one of the most blatant examples of this is with the celebrity Amanda Bynes. You can see her here in this milk commercial with the butterfly on her nose and the word metamorphosis below. Supposedly they are saying the milk is the cause of the metamorphosis. However, just with any other MK Ultra subject, their mind breaks down from repeated insults. Here you see Amanda, who was a perfectly normal, talented, and strong actor/singer, completely lose her mind, shave half of her head, and post a series of very strange Twitter videos, such as this one, where she is twitching and jerking her facial expressions as she poses.
At first I was going to say that this is just normal artistic expression and he might be reaching with this one, until I saw Beyonce with the butterfly covering her left eye. We all know what that means.
Federal emergency has been declared in central New Mexico after wildfires. At least 2 people and destroyed some 1,400 buildings. This morning, there's a new problem. Heavy storms have caused flash flooding, adding water rescues to the emergency response.
The active South Fork and Salt fires have scorched more than 20,000 acres and destroyed about 500 homes. The wildfires have killed at least 2 people, including 60-year-old musician Patrick Pearson. The fire is burning behind me on those mountains, and on Wednesday we could see the smoke on the mountain and smell it where we are standing. But today we cannot see the smoke, but we do see rain clouds moving into the area. This RV park in Ruidoso was overtaken by a nearby river. raging from fresh burn scars. Further south, cars were buried in mud on a highway. On Wednesday, we spoke to the town's mayor, Lynn Crawford. How would you describe the damage in your town?
We have certain areas of town where every home's been taken out, every structure's been taken out, and we're getting a lot of phone calls, people wanting to get back, but now's not the time to come back.
Roughly 8,000 people are waiting for the okay to go home.
If only that storm could have came a couple days earlier, the fire probably wouldn't have been an issue at all. HARP needs to work on their timing. Prayers up to everybody in New Mexico. They had a rough week.
So as I'm sure you know, a lot has been going on in the UK in the last sort of 6 months with loads of new laws coming into place. Like literally unflavoured air is going to be the next thing to be banned at this rate. Now of course our leader at the moment, Mr. Rishi Sunak, one of the major points of his manifesto saying when he gets in, he will bring back national service. This just got 10 times worse. So from the start, when he announced national service would be coming back, he said it won't actually be enforced. So it's not like you're going to go to jail if you refuse to go, but there will be sanctions and incentives. So we don't know what the incentives are going to be. It'll probably be like 50p an hour or something. But he said subtly, well, we're not sure what we are going to do to people, but most likely they are going to look to take away your driving license or ban you from accessing your finances.
National service is going to be compulsory. How will you make people do it?
All sorts of things that people do across Europe, whether that's looking at driving licenses, other access to finance.
Access to finance? Yes. So if people don't want to do national service, what, you're going to take their bank cards away?
Selective service is already bad in itself, but threatening to meddle with people's finances is the easiest way to lose an election. But if you're from the UK, man, let me know what you guys think about this one.
After 3 years of planning, city administration is presenting its vision to accommodate a population of 2 million people through 15-minute cities. 3 days of public hearings on the plan began at City Hall this morning. Shailen Skulski has more.
The 15 new district plans and corresponding bylaws will replace 54 existing planning documents dating back to the 1980s. Administration says the goal is to accommodate 600,000 new residents in redeveloped areas, with 50% of all new home units added through infill. The plan also calls for half of all future travel to be done by transit, and for residents to access all their daily needs within 15 minutes. Not everyone supports the plan.
My understanding is that this means I will need to stay within my district to meet all my needs so that the city can meet its climate plan objectives.
I don't think Edmontonians can afford to be part of a renovation experiment of this size so quickly.
I think unfortunately a lot of the district plan in particular have been derailed by 15-minute cities, conspiracy theories, World Economic Forums, etc. At the end of the day, this is about land use.
Instead of trying to put people in 15-minute cities to reduce the carbon footprint, they should be trying to regulate the emissions and pollution from these corporate factories like Tyson, but I guess they get a pass.
The following video was recorded in Paraguay by a bus driver who had been experiencing strange things and unexplained phenomena while working for a specific bus company. He would always hear strange noises and ghostly footsteps while working all alone late at night. Then on one certain occasion something truly creepy happened, something that ended up on several news stations all over the world. And this is what was caught on camera. At around 3 a.m. in the morning, after returning from one of his coffee breaks, he comes face to face with what appears to be a ghostly entity trying to turn on the bus engine. But as you can see, there is no one there.
Unless this bus has a remote starter, it seems like a ghost is trying to crank it up and complete some stops. I might let him do it just so I can chill for the rest of the shift.
So when you look at it,
iPhone update.
Yeah, I've already got it. I've been using the eye tracking feature where instead of like using your fingers like a commoner to use your phone, you just use your eyeballs.
Hang on, what?
What's going on? You just look at the phone.
Like having a chip in your head. Here we go, I'm looking.
Well, what are you doing?
And then, sorry, okay, so it's highlighting the app but not opening it. Then how do you open it? What did you do to do that?
He blinked.
That's insane. Did anyone ever think that was coming so soon?
The whole purpose of the Neuralink is to be able to use your devices hands-free like this. I know the first patient who got that implant is furious at Elon right now. If only he would have waited 6 months.
Hi guys, welcome to the video. My name is Jazdog and I'm a tunnel hunter from Australia. Over the last 6 months we have been doing extensive research underground, under the city of Sydney, mapping out all the tunnels. This one in particular was unforgettable. We thought that we could go as deep as we could go, working our way through Wynyard Station tunnels, down to lower levels. All these well-known tunnels that had been discovered previously. We thought there was not much left to discover, but how wrong we really were. The tunnel network underneath Sydney is incredibly intense and incredibly vast. One of the deepest tunnel networks in the world that we know of. Also, the tunnel's infrastructure beneath the city is incredible, as you can see here. This had just put another layer on tunnels we had yet to discover. Being extensively versed on the Sydney tunnel network, we had thought we had seen everything. But the thing about tunnel hunting is when you think you've seen it all, you are always yet to see more. At this particular point, we are somewhere beneath George Street, Sydney. On top of us here would be Town Hall. A question that always springs to mind when we are exploring these tunnels is who built these things? Yes, we know of the construction workers that built top levels and things like that, but who built down here? This is very deep underground. What is the purpose? This is what I've devoted my life to find out, the purpose of these tunnels, and each day we get even closer and closer to the answers. These tunnels are not on maps, blueprints, or any documentation that we could discover at all. These tunnels are totally off the record. Someone did not want these tunnels to be discovered.
I wonder how much deeper underground these tunnels actually go, because they never reach the bottom, and I can only imagine what that chain is used for. This is an actual rabbit hole.
16 lab-grown human brains make up the world's first living computer. What the? The startup behind the Biocomputer, FinalSpark, says it uses 1 million times less power than a digital computer processor. FinalSpark even launched an online neuro platform so researchers can conduct experiments with the computer remotely through a server right now. The reason they're able to create a biocomputer is because of organoids, which are simplified mini versions of real organs, a fairly new technology often used for medical research. Organoids are made in a dish using cells from a living organism that can grow to mimic the forms and functions of an organ. So by taking cells from a human brain, this team of researchers is able to create mini brains that they can use for computing. And there's even a system that provides food and water to the cells to keep them alive, but only for around 100 days. FinalSpark claims the bioprocessors they're making consume 1 million times less power than traditional digital processors. With the rise of AI, researchers are searching for ways to cut back on energy consumption to protect the climate and our infrastructure. According to technological research and consulting firm Gartner, AI is predicted to consume 3.5% of global electricity by 2030. That's more electricity than the entire country of Germany uses right now. But the human brain only uses a tiny fraction of the energy of a digital computer, making it a viable solution for AI's energy problem. But why does this make me feel bad for the organoid brains? Will they get depressed? What if they gain consciousness? This practice definitely raises ethical questions. There isn't much evidence the brains could become conscious, but the research is too new to know for sure.
I think giving AI a human brain is a terrible idea that's most likely going to backfire. Why not just build a few new clean power plants? Scientists always seem to skip over the easiest solutions.
She really captured something weird in their skies. Take a look at this footage and tell me, what do you see?
It's either a drone disguised to look like a person, or they just filmed Professor McGonagall out running errands.
Guys, I'm so flipped out. I was literally sitting here eating my pistachios when I come across this. Like, looks like a hermit crab. Ugh. Can you see that?
whatever fertilizer they use for this crop, they need to stop. I was expecting maybe a deformed pistachio. I was not ready for a full wisdom tooth to pop out. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.